Okay, so let's go over the answers for slides 7 through 9. So you're going to be writing your responses on this slide. This Pear Deck is going to be in student pace mode. So it's going to ask you to write your response. You're going to write your response for these two highlighted questions, A and B, on this slide. So A, let's go over A. Which number is equal to the number of protons in the atom? So in an atom, the number of protons is the atomic number. B, which two particles determine the mass of an atom? The mass is determined by the number of protons and the number of neutrons. On slide 8, number 1, for neutral atoms, or atoms with no charge, the number of protons is equal to the number of electrons. So on this slide, again, it's going to ask you to write your response. So go ahead and just write your responses on the slide. On the Pear Deck app, do not go ahead and there won't be an option for you to type in here, but that's okay. Just write your answer where it prompts you. Explain when an atom becomes positive based on your observation from gizmos. An atom becomes positive when the number of protons is greater than the number of electrons. Explain when an atom becomes negative. An atom becomes negative when there are more electrons than protons. The atomic number Z tells us the number of protons in an atom. The mass number A tells us the number of protons plus the number of electrons. The charge of an atom is the number of protons minus the number of electrons. Okay. Let's go over number 1 for our assessment questions. In the silver atom, Ag is an atomic symbol for silver. Which number is the atomic number and which number is the mass number? Okay, so the atomic number is the lower one here, which is the number of protons, and the mass number is the one up top, which is the number of protons plus the number of neutrons. Okay, for number 2, how many electrons, protons, and neutrons are in this neon atom? Okay, well, we know the mass number is equal to the number of protons, which is 10. And if this is neutral, and there's no charge here, so this is a neutral atom, then the number of protons equals the number of electrons. So that's 10 as well. Neutrons. How do we find the neutrons? Well, in the nucleus, that's where most of the mass is. So 22 minus 10 would be 12. So we take the mass, subtract it from the number of protons, and we get the number of neutrons. So we have in neon we have 10 electrons, 10 protons, and 12 neutrons. How many electrons, protons, and neutrons are in potassium? Okay, let's use the same process. Potassium has 19 protons. We know that by the atomic number. And it's neutral. There's no charge here. We would see a charge here, like +1, -1, +2, -2, all that stuff. But we don't see a charge. So if you see no charge, immediately you know the number of protons is equal to the number of electrons. So that's 19 as well. For neutrons, we subtract the number of protons from the mass. Okay, so 39 minus 19 is 20. So 20 for the number of neutrons. So electrons is 19, protons is 19 as well, because this is neutral, and the number of neutrons is 20. How many electrons, protons, and neutrons are in a carbon atom? Okay, so we have carbon here. Again, same process. The lower number is a number of protons. The number on top is atomic mass. And there's no charge. So again, 6 protons, 6 electrons because it's neutral, and 6 neutrons because 6 from 12 is 6. All right, how many electrons, protons, and neutrons are in beryllium? Okay, and we're going to round this to 9 for beryllium and move it up a little bit. So again, neutral. So the number of electrons or protons is the same. So 4 electrons, 4 protons, and 9 minus 4 is 5, so 5 neutrons.